Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, February 26th. We have all you need to know about a recent drug bust in State College and an arrest made at Nittany Mall.
We also have more on incoming businesses and road closures in town, along with entertainment, sports, and weather. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Carlos Garcia.
And I'm Cameron Lobley. Police have arrested Roni Diaz after being accused of peddling cocaine in State College. Authorities revealed the 24-year-old's alleged drug dealing spanned from August 2023 to this week. Undercover operations led to controlled purchases under police surveillance. Diaz faces a staggering 17 felony charges for possession with intent to deliver, along with 8 felony counts for criminal use and communication, and 9 misdemeanor charges for drug possession. The College Township resident remains in custody and has a preliminary hearing slated for February 28th.
A Bellefonte man is facing charges after witnesses told police he exposed himself in a public restroom at the Nittany Mall. 61-year-old Thomas Chilcote is also accused of having methamphetamine in his possession when he was arrested by State College police on Saturday morning. A mall patron told an officer that he entered a public restroom and encountered Chilcote. He was charged with misdemeanor counts of indecent exposure, open lewdness, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia, and a summary offense of disorderly conduct.
After nearly 25 years, Outback Steakhouse has closed its State College location. The parent company, Bloomin' Brands, made the decision due to the restaurant's underperformance. The company hasn't disclosed how many employees are affected or whether they were notified, but severance packages are promised for non-transferring staff. The nearest Outback is now in Altoona.
State College drivers, get ready for some more road work. Work is resuming today, expected for the final year of the current phase of Atherton Street construction. This week from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., crews will cut the roads on South Atherton Street between West Irvin Avenue and Center Lane. Next week, starting March 3rd at 6 p.m. and around the clock until 5 p.m. on March 8th, crews will be installing pipes in the South Atherton Street and Westerly Parkway intersection. Drivers are urged to leave for a bit earlier for their destinations over the next 2 weeks. Well, we've had some spring-like temperatures today, but how much longer can we expect to see this? Our student meteorologist, Gavin Sidwell, with Campus Weather Service, has the latest details. Take a look.
From the students of the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Gavin Sandell here with your PSN forecast. Taking a live look at Beaver Stadium, or more so a time-lapse view, we did start off with a very nice sunrise here at 6 a.m. We did have murky skies throughout midday, but right now what we're left with here in the evening is some beautiful conditions, 57 degrees at just about 6 p.m. at Beaver Stadium. And really, 57 degrees is way above normal, and that recaps it perfectly. Phil was right. Punxsutawney Phil did predict that early spring. And throughout the entire month of February, this has been about 7 degrees above normal here in Pennsylvania. But rain is on the way as we go into the midweek. Tomorrow, going into Wednesday, we will see a low pressure system bring rain and potentially even snow with a cool down coming our way. The cool down will impact us certainly this weekend, but Wednesday and Thursday might be our best days for those lower temperatures. And speaking of the opposite of lower temperatures, look at these temperatures right now. If it was May or April, you would pretty much assume that this is a normal map. But folks, we're still in February. 59 degrees here in State College, and generally all 50s here, minus a few locations in the western portions of the state. But this is crazy, and you could reflect it well on this high temperature departure from average map. 41 degrees is our normal high here in State College, which is anything but that right now. And as you go west, 23 degrees above normal in Pittsburgh. That is quite high. That's just 42 degrees is what their normal is, but that cannot compare at all to what we're seeing in the American Midwest. 38 degrees above normal in Omaha. They are seeing, I guess for this time of year, scathing temperatures of of 80 degrees, and also 93 on this February 26th in Dallas, Texas. Not much to recap on the radar, and that makes sense because we are seeing a high pressure system, not anywhere in here, but just a little bit to our north, spinning up in our region. And as you zoom out, you can't really tell much either. There's some rain showers moving out in southern Virginia, but this precipitation here will be, I guess, the baseline of what we'll see tomorrow as a low pressure system will start to form its way our direction. And heading into tomorrow, we will see scattered rain showers at about noontime, impacting our lunchtime commute. And those will kind of scatter its way in and out going into the evening hours. And I guess we'll have a little bit of a break going into Tuesday evening and the late night hours. But as we go into Wednesday, the day, we'll start to see a more concentrated system move its way through the state. And you could actually tell the cold front right here because we are seeing a very large temperature gradient, 60s here in the southeast and 30s up in the northwest, which is just a classic identifier. You guys might see snow showers here in the western portions of the state in midday on Wednesday. Timing it out even further, that system will push out, bring us mainly rain, maybe a possible snow shower or two here in State College. But what will be left on Thursday is some lake-enhanced snow showers up in the plateau of New York going into Thursday. And then Friday, we should look perfect as a high-pressure system settles into our area. For tonight, 37 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions will be expected, though there might be some fog heading our way, which might impact our morning commute tomorrow. And speaking of that, 58 degrees, that's when the rain will start to set in, way above average temperatures though, and the wind might be a little bit up there, 10 to 15 miles an hour, a little bit gusty. And now for the 7-day forecast, Tuesday, Wednesday, those days are quite warm for this time of year. Once that cold front passes through, though, those temperatures will tumble right down. Thursday, we're only expecting a high of just 37, though they'll climb right back up for the weekend. And apart from Saturday, it looks like a very nice weekend. A little bit of a preview of spring coming our way. For PSN, I'm Gavin Sandell. Thank you so much for watching.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Jenna Wisman with your sports update. This past Saturday, Penn State men's basketball hosted Indiana at the Bryce Jordan Center for the Coaches versus Cancer game. The first half was close as there was never more than a 4-point lead for each team. Senior ace Baldwin dominated for the Nittany Lions, scoring 23 points and 9 assists. It's important to note that every starter scored in double figures for the Nittany Lions. Penn State went on to defeat Indiana for the second time this season by a score of 83-74, making it their second win in a row. Hopefully the Nittany Lions can hold on to the streak on the road tomorrow night against Iowa at 9 p.m. Moving on to Penn State men's lacrosse, the team traveled to Annapolis, Maryland on Saturday to extend their winning streak by taking on Navy. The Nittany Lions were dominant from the jump, scoring 4 unanswered goals in the first quarter. 2 of those goals came from junior Will Peden, who didn't stop there. He went on to score a career high of 4 goals, and Penn State defeated Navy 13-3. Junior goalie Jack Fracione stopped 15 of 18 shots. This 10-goal victory was their biggest margin win in program history against Navy. Penn State's next game is this Saturday at noon against Yale. And it's an exciting time of year for baseball fans as spring training begins. The Philadelphia Phillies had their spring opener this past Saturday in Florida, where they took on the Toronto Blue Jays. Phillies fans saw some spring debuts, including Whit Merrifield at second base and lefty Colby Allard on the mound. Both men described the Phillies as a cool culture to be around. The Phillies ended up winning by a close score of 14-13 with 4 runs in the second inning and 10 in the 5th. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Alexa Spilatris has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Alexa Spilatris with your entertainment update. Beloved downtown eatery, Are You Hungry is closing its doors today. Owners are citing its closure on staffing shortages, pandemic challenges, and uncertainties about the street building. Despite the closure, there's a glimmer of hope. Its owners are exploring options to keep Are You Hungry in town through new ownership, a different location, or adjusted hours. As they bid farewell, the business expressed gratitude to loyal customers and staff, leaving the door open for a potential return. Now, well, that wasn't the only eventful thing to come to downtown State College this weekend. This past weekend was the student holiday, St. Patty's Day. Our Eva Hines, live in the studio, has more on the details. Eva?
Thanks, Alexa. For St. Patty's, people go out to party and friends from all over drive up to celebrate. However, a lot of preparation goes into this Penn State holiday, starting with the clothing stores downtown. This past week, I was able to head down to some of these stores and see how they manage this crazy weekend. Let's take a look. Welcome to downtown State College, the hub of all stores and restaurants here at Penn State. However, this weekend we see a lot of green clothing and decorations in the store windows. That's because this weekend is known as State Patty's, Penn State's self-made holiday. State Patty's is Penn State's post-thaw, pre-spring break weekend of partying. Many bars and restaurants open early and stay open late to take advantage of the bustling crowds. All stores downtown sell green state shirts and green beads and decorations to prepare for the weekend. But how did it all start? Penn State originally created this weekend back in 2007 when the school's spring break was the same week as St. Patrick's Day. This meant that students wouldn't get to celebrate on campus for the actual holiday. This didn't stop Penn State students, however. They moved it just a week earlier and branded it State Patty's Day. This weekend attracts a ton of visitors, and many stores downtown overstock their green accessories and specifically made Penn State, Happy Valley, or State shirts. Amidst all the chaos, State Patty's is a fun weekend where everyone can come together and wear a buttload of green. For PSN News, I'm Eva Hines. State Patty's is celebrated every year during the weekend between thaw and spring break. Now, back to you, Alexa.
Thanks, Eva. Now this one is for our art enthusiasts. Get ready to unleash your creativity through The Flower, a nonprofit organization in partnership with Penn State University Libraries. The organization is calling for applications for the 2024 Judy Chicago Art Education Award. Named after feminist art movement pioneer Judy Chicago, the award offers a whopping $5,000 prize and a certificate signed by Chicago. The deadline for this application has been extended to March 31st. More details on the award could be found on the Flower website. The 30th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards brought the house down Saturday. Oppenheimer stole the show, winning the top film honor for outstanding performance by a cast. Barbra Streisand rocked the night with the SAG Life Achievement Award, and Pedro Pascal gave an epic acceptance speech. TV favorites Succession and The Bear were big winners in television. Off-camera highlights included reunions and candid moments along stars like Rachel Brosnahan and Sterling K. It was a star-studded roller coaster, and we loved every second. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Hannah George will be speaking with Frank Gargione, a Wii Baseball League player. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Hannah George, and with me tonight is Wii Baseball League player Frank Gargione. Thank you so much for coming in, Frank.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so to start off, what exactly is the Wii Baseball League?
It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. Think of your favorite sports team, MLB, NBA, NFL. Think of their leagues, but just change it to Wii Baseball, and that's pretty much what it is. You go through schedule, standings, playoffs, championship, the whole 9 yards, just Wii Baseball.
All right, so how exactly did the league originate?
So one of our friends, one day he was just like, hey, I think we should, because we would go to their apartment and we'd play Wii Sports. So he's like, you know what, why don't we just make a league out of this? And he reached out to a couple people. We got 10 people to play, and now we have a league.
All right, so are there 10 teams in, or how many teams are there?
So there's 10 teams. Each team is one person. It's not like you're a team or there's more than one person. It's just you're the team, and there's 10 of them, so pretty much.
And how exactly did you get involved in the league?
I was laying down in my bed, and I got a text, and it was from the guy who made it. His name's Evan. So Evan was just like, hey, do you want to join a Wii Baseball League? And I grew up playing Wii Sports with my brother. Pretty much I've played Wii all of my life, really. So I'm used to the game. I'm used to playing. And I'm like, might as well. It'd be a good time.
Yeah. And of all the Wii Sports, why exactly did you guys choose baseball?
Baseball, it's easy to play. It's very laid back, but it can also be really competitive. So it has that edge over other games such like tennis and bowling. Like no one wants to watch that. Let's be honest. So we picked baseball. It's a fun game. Everyone knows how to play. It's easy to pick up. So we just picked baseball just for those reasons.
Right. And how long does the season last usually?
So we started January 18th. That was our first in-season game, and it went all the way to February 29th, which is the championship. So this upcoming Thursday, the championship. So each team plays about 12 games, and that's just it.
All right. Do you have a favorite game you've played so far this season?
Favorite game that I've played? Honestly, it was a game that I lost in. It was a back and forth game. It was against Evan, the creator. It was a back and forth game. I was getting a little mad. I was screaming at the TV. I'm not gonna lie. Went back and forth. Ended up losing 6-5. So you can lose and still have fun. So that's the good thing about this. You're with a bunch of friends, so it's very laid back.
Do you have a favorite game you haven't played in?
Yes. So we play in our friend's apartment, but we also play in some academic buildings. So we were playing in Walker Building. And Evan, again, he's in both of them. He played against one of our friends named Donald. And he beat Donald on a walk-off home run. And he was screaming up and down. And Donald decided to scream in Evan's face, very derogatory language. And it was very funny, good time. Again, just laid back and having fun.
Mm-hmm. And where do the games exactly take place? Because you mentioned a couple different places.
So our friend's apartment is the main spot where we play. We also play in academic buildings. We have played in Hostler. We've played in Walker. And our championship game on Thursday is played in 100 Thomas.
All right. And do you guys keep track of the stats, and how do you do that?
So we have an Excel sheet that has our schedule, our stats, playoffs, records, standings, all that stuff. We have a stats sheet, I guess you could say, where we have our wins, our losses, ties, runs against, runs forced, errors, walks. So we have all this, and we manually input as we watch the games ourselves.
Wow. Okay. And you guys have an Instagram account where you live stream
Yes.
all the games. Why did you guys decide to live stream the games?
Because in case someone can't show up that's in the league itself, you want to see what's going on, so you want to see live watching. So and it's also cool to interact with an actual audience, people who are watching. So you want to have something that you can stream to people who are in the league or not in the league also, just to, broadcast it out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And you guys also have some interesting graphics, like different brackets and stuff on your Instagram. Is there somebody specific who makes those?
Yes, a league member. His name is Gavin. He actually did the weather. He is the person behind the graphics. He makes the graphics. He posts them to Instagram. So yeah, he's the one who does all that.
Awesome, nice. Do you guys have plans for a future season? Maybe trying out a different sport at all?
I don't want to get into too much detail, but we were talking about possibly doing another sport. I don't think it'll rival baseball, how it works, but maybe tennis. We'll see as we go on.
All right. Baseball, it's currently in the playoffs, I know. And how exactly do the playoffs work for you guys?
If anyone's familiar with the NBA playoffs, it basically works like the NBA playoffs. So there's 10 teams. The first 6 teams are locked into the playoffs. The bottom 4 teams play in a play-in for the remaining 2 spots. So there's 8 teams total. The bottom 4 play for the remaining 2 spots with the other 6. And then it's just a basic tournament-style playoffs after that.
All right. Do you guys have somebody who's really currently leading the league, or has been a standout player at all?
I don't want to hype him up too much, but it is Evan. He is leading right now. He's the 1 seed. He just won his playoff series. He's in the semifinals now. He was 10-2, so there's 12 games you play in the regular season. He's 10-2. Currently in the semis, he's probably the guy to beat right now.
All right. And you mentioned your championship game. You said that'll be in the Walker building or Thomas building, correct?
Building, yes.
And can people come watch that? Is there time for that?
It's open. If you want to come out and watch, no one's stopping you. Feel free to come out. It's in 100 Thomas at 9 p.m. Thursday. It's late because of exams and all that kind of stuff, but 9 p.m. Thursday, come out, support if you want to. If not, we will be streaming on Instagram.
All right. And where exactly can people find you on social media?
Instagram only at We Baseball League. We Baseball League. One word, no spaces, no caps. We Baseball League.
All right, Frank, thank you so much for coming in tonight and telling us more about your experience with the We Baseball League. Stick around, because coming up next, Cameron and Carlos will have the latest news from across the nation.
A small balloon was intercepted by a fighter jet over Utah. Dispatch fighter pilots determined the balloon posed no threat to national security. Close observation of the balloon is being made by NORAD. The balloon's origin and purpose remain undisclosed. While reminiscent of recent events, including the downing of a Chinese spy balloon last year, NORAD said this incident involves no foreign threat.
A Utah man in prison for nearly 2 years in Venezuela has sued President Nicolás Maduro. Joshua Holt filed a complaint last week in Miami federal court. He targeted Maduro's government over its alleged ties to the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC, which the U.S. has designated a terrorist group. In 2016, Holt and his partner were arrested in Venezuela at his partner's family's apartment. Security forces said they found him stockpiling assault weapons and grenades. A few days later, top officials appeared on state TV and accused Holt of being a CIA terrorist sent to topple Maduro.
An Illinois judge was removed from the bench for misconduct after reversing a rape conviction involving a 16-year-old girl. The decision by the Illinois Courts Commission followed outrage over Robert Adrian's actions, which were deemed a circumvention of the law and an abuse of power. Despite Adrian's claims of doing what was right, the commission has found his justifications unfounded. The victim expressed relief at the decision, stating he can't hurt anybody else.
A New Jersey man has been acquitted in a retrial of the beating death of a college student from Tennessee. Timothy Puskas was convicted in 2017 and sentenced to 40 years in prison after the 2014 death of former Rutgers student William McCaw. McCaw had been walking home from a party before his body was found in deep snow in a New Brunswick backyard in February of 2014. County prosecutors said he had been beaten to death with something like a crowbar or a wrench. And that concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.